It's weird because I want to show you a video. I want to show this video of the amount of food we used to eat. You know, the thing about us Tongans, our tradition is when we celebrate, you must have food there. And I notice Australia and other countries, you know, when they celebrate, they'll have alcohol, you know, music and all of that. That shows that there's a party. But for the Tongans, when they celebrate, the number one thing is food. That's the number one. If you go to a Tongan celebration and there's no food there, it's not a celebration.
Believe a prophet who's 400 pounds.
Not the baby back ribs.
No, I can't believe a prophet who's 400 pounds. It just doesn't work that way. But
Good morning. Potato to the gym, 4 a.m. I'm going to start 4 a.m. in the morning, get to the gym. Gym's only 10 minutes away. I'm just going to have to start early because start work at 6, 7. So I want to just get my gym out of the way. Then I'll get my cardio this morning out of the way. And I'm also going to get my meal ready plan. My real meal plan. You're going to see my meals as well within this week, and you'll also see me weighing myself this week. I think every day I'm just going to update you what I'm doing, and just leave you a couple of videos. I can't really record all of it, only because, to be honest, it's very hard to take a camera to the gym, and I guess probably why I want to start at 4. I guess it's just basically for me to make it easier to record and while no one is around. But yeah, so this is week 2. Hopefully we have some bit of progress. I want to be focusing a lot on my cardio. I do have strengths, but cardio is going to be a lot what I'm going to try to put in on this video for this week. Hopefully at the same time at the end I will have a few words of wisdom to add on every after training. And then hopefully, you know, a couple of these wisdoms can come out, talk about, you know, life in general. But yeah, this is morning training. Fuck. So, as you can see, my diet meal, I will post it up on our page. And so they've got me to actually weigh my diet meal. So right now, it's funny because weighing your food is crazy. So I'm just going to put this here, tear it. So just so you can see the camera, just going to tear it to 0. So I'm meant to have 200 grams of chicken breast. So put it into the So chicken breast, right now, that there is 294. What? So I'm going to cut a little bit of piece out of that one. Still small, okay. A little bit more piece. So this is not normal in my life. So 191. I want to grab every single piece. So there you go. 205. What are your thoughts, leader? Should I bring it down to 200? Oh, no, look. It's 200. It's 200. So I don't know what happened there, but it went down to 200. So it's weird because I want to show you a video. I want to show this video of the amount of food we used to eat. You know, the thing about us Tongans, our tradition is when we celebrate, you must have food there. And I notice Australia and other countries, you know, when they celebrate, they'll have alcohol, you know, music and all of that. That shows that there's a party. But for the Tongans, when they celebrate, the number one thing is food. That's the number one. If you go to a Tongan celebration and there's no food there, it's not a celebration. So as you can see, for me, to cut this down to 200 grams is torture to me. It's a torture because this is like not even this is like a toothpick food for us Tongan. Well, for not sure about us, for me, this is toothpick size. And little did I know that this is a normal. This is what it takes to lose weight. So yeah, 200 grams. Wow, who does that? I guess healthy people. So this is the big change of my life is eating chicken breast. There's got no fat on there. And then it's funny because on my first week I did this. I chucked in a big massive oil, like I almost fried the chicken. And then I put mayonnaise and hummus. I just dumped it in there. And I'm not gonna lie, I chucked in an extra 100 grams. And I thought, well, an extra 100 grams is better than what I used to eat. That was my thought process. I told it to my coach. My coach told me to keep it honest with him. And I told him, and he almost fell down the ground. And he's like, mate, you gotta eat what I give you. My coach, why did I choose my coach? So my coach, for this last year I've been there at the gym, he's been there for 4 o'clock every day. I see him there constantly so he's disciplined, well disciplined, and it shows that through his body that he is well crafted in what he does and he knows what he does. And that's why I chose him to be my coach. Come to see, he's a really good dude. He knows what he's doing. And because I'm not going to choose someone because of their religious or the way they know. I'm going to choose someone that I've seen day in and day out, you know, in the trenches. And I see them put their hard work. And that's why I chose him to be my coach. And then he's told me to eat this 200. Look, it's like a toothpick. So, but you know, I've got to do this to survive. I've got to eat this twice a day, every 3 hours. My second meal will be mince, and that's around about the same size. So what I do is I cook this, and I don't damp it with oil, but I spray the oil. We're not going to video that because I'm going to spray the oil. I'm going to spray that oil, but you know, hopefully next week I'll make sure I'll just spray. But this one, we're not going to show that part. Let's just show that this is the size. I'm going to put this in the microwave, and then I've got potato, 3 pieces of potato. Mate, we eat 3 whole taro, you know, with, oh man, the amount of food that we can eat to now seeing what normal people eat, it just amazes me. Well, I know why that I'm this big. I know why that I'm overweight. It's definitely because of the portion. But other than that, this is my food. Veggies, 3 pieces of potato, and that's one of my meals. I'll have this meal again in 3 hours, and then I'll have mince in 3 hours after that. And then I get snacks. My snacks is yogurt, but I'll put a picture down and show you guys, what I eat. But I'll be doing this for the next month because I'm losing weight. So he's saying it's working. And then once we get to a stage where we're, what would you call that when you stop? Once we get to a stage where we what do they call that? When things don't move? Huh? It's stuck, but it's called plateau. So once you get to a plateau, that's when he will start changing my diet. So right now, I have lost 4 kilos, which is good. And after I eat this, I will then go to the Repeat Republic, do some bit of cardio, and try to catch up my steps. I try to get at least 9,000 steps on my phone, knowing that I don't add my other steps in because I know that I'm going to be over 10,000. So, anyways, this is my meal. Sucks. It really sucks. But then, when I think about this meal, I think about this guy. And every time when I watch that video, every time when I watch this video, it just kind of makes a lot of sense. It's not Christian, but it's a lot of truth in it. Anyways, let's go.
Taste, mother. You dieting for the results that dieting is going to give you. Yeah. How it's going to make you look. Oh, it tastes so nasty. I can't diet. You whining ass.
So one of the hardest things that pastors go through during the week is the busy schedule. Like, for instance, this week was a very hard week for me because we have a local funeral of a pastor that one of my uncles that I grew up with. They were in another church, but it's kind of like a Tongan tradition that each pastor will go there and give words of encouragement to the family and just preach a few words. And obviously when you preach, you have to have some time alone, just making sure that you sing the right words and just being well prepared. Because it's a funeral, you want to look for the funeral verses that is going to be good for the family. And my take was 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20 to 23, and it talks about the first fruits of Adam to the first fruits of Christ for those that believe in him and have risen again. But like I said, schedule gets very, very busy. Like my weekly schedule is on Tuesdays, because I'm also the keyboardist of the church. So I'm there at the worship team, working with the worship team on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we have our Bible studies, the men's ministry. And because I'm leading that, I'll have to also get that prepared as well. Just getting like the right study, for that weekend. And because we had the funeral on Thursday, our study on that day was about funerals and the verse that I was about to preach. So then on Thursday we had the funeral, and for you guys that don't know the Tongan funeral usually goes all night. It's awakening, so it goes usually starts around 6, and then it will go all the way to the next morning. Then we'll have a church in the next morning, and then it'll go straight to the burial. So it does take a big toll out of your time. It does take a big toll out of your body, especially if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to just restructure your time with meals and exercising and training. I guess that's the good thing about training in the morning, 4 a.m., because you just want to get your training out of the way, and that way you can just focus on the daily tasks. So after Friday, we then get a call if we can do a halftime performance for a local rugby union club called the Owls. They had a Pacifica Day, so they just asked if we can perform on their halftime. And the good thing is they were happy. They were happy with what we had performed. And the only hard thing is it does take a lot of out of you because you got to organize practice. You've got to make sure that the costumes are all ready, for that Saturday. So it does take a lot out of your time, which kind of does affect, when you are trying to lose weight and train. But I guess, you've just got to try to keep discipline and just making your yes and your no. And that's what I'm trying to keep in my mind. Just make time for the gym, make time for the meals, make time for the walk. I guess doing all those extracurricular work will get you a lot of steps up anyways. But yeah, that's all I go through as a pastor. So just pray for me. As you all know, this is so new to my life, to try to train and lose weight and going on this journey. We have now lost. So I did put down 234 last week, but the funny thing is I gained weight to 236, and then I dropped this week to 231. So technically I've lost 5 kilos, even though I put 2 extra, but I've lost 5 kilos. So that's what I've lost within these 2 weeks. I look forward to what I see next week. Next week I don't have much on. I still got my own church programs that I have to go through. But the good thing is there's no funeral, there's no performances. So I can just focus on my diet and focus on myself. So that's what we go through as pastors. And like I said, please continue praying for me and my journey as we will try to break this cycle. I think on my next week video, I would like to talk a little bit more, especially, why am I doing this? But other than that, thank you all for listening and thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and just follow my journey. Go together. Anyways, all love.